Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Living Life LIFU. I am your host, Dr. Veronica Garcia, and today I am joined by another super amazing coach of Life University, Coach Tim Walker. Welcome.
Hello.
I'm
Welcome.
so happy
Thank you.
to have you.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
So let's start at the beginning.
Yes.
You are a coach for volleyball, is that correct?
Yes.
What was your passion for volleyball? What got you there?
Honestly, I would say it's an interesting story. How I started, my younger sister played volleyball. Mm-hmm. My older sister and I played basketball growing up, and she really struggled to find her thing. Mm-hmm. And she knew she didn't want to play, basketball, but she knew she wanted to be, in an athletics situation. Mm-hmm. So she tried out for volleyball, and I just so happened to end up coaching her team at 16s. I took her to and from every practice, and I think their first tournament, they ended up playing a team that they were better than, but I gave them like a little pep talk after their first set loss. I was like, you guys are better than this, blah, blah, blah. Like, so-and-so, you're good. You're like, and the club director came up to me and was like, hey, I heard what you said back there. Have you ever thought about coaching? And I was like, no, I'm not gonna. And they ended up winning the match. She's like, I think you could be a great coach. And I'm like, oh. Okay, I don't really know, but ultimately that was the initial start. I realized that season in helping her team that I really enjoyed just like giving back and like giving the knowledge that I had of the sport to them, and then learning new things as I went by through the career. So.
That's amazing. So how long have you been coaching for?
It's been 14 years now. It is outrageous to say 14 because it feels like just yesterday I was 17 years old. Yeah. I'm not. I'm no longer 17. So yes, it's been quite a journey.
Yeah, but you're experienced and you're knowledgeable and you get to give back to them and you get to live those 17 years
most definitely.
of age through them as well, which is a beautiful thing.
Oh my God, yes.
Tell me about your transition. How long have you been at Life University? When did you start?
Yes. So my transition into the collegiate realm started 3 years ago. Carlos Soler was the head coach here at that time, and he also was a really good friend of mine. Yeah. He had just gotten the head coach role that year, coming off of being the assistant. And honestly, it started with just like a post on Instagram about the team. And I was like, hey, you're missing only one thing there. And he's like, what is it? And it's like, me as your assistant.
I love that.
And he's like, just reached back out and was like, are you being serious? And I was like, are you serious? And from there, he hired me on to be his assistant. Before being here, I was at another university. And I will say that my experience just wasn't, it was subpar in a sense, but I learned a lot. I mean, I learned what not to do. I learned some things what to do. But the experience took a toll on me. And Carlos assured me like, hey, like, this will be completely different. Yeah. So I took a step out in faith. Yeah. I left corporate America to follow my dream and came back into the collegiate realm. So I've been here now for 3 years. Yay. And I've loved it. It's been great.
And it all started with just going body forward, body slamming into the
Oh my goodness.
You're just missing me.
Yes.
What a beautiful thing to believe in yourself and to just take that leap
Most
of faith.
Definitely. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll get to do that. And
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think it just, I don't know. It's been, like I said, the journey. I will always say like, it's such a different experience going through it with people that believe in you as well. So I think it was just natural, like human nature for someone that's close to you, like to really believe that they also believe in you too as well. And then understanding like the process of how it works in the sport. There's a lot of knowledge, a lot of things you can learn. There's always room to grow no matter what. And ultimately coaching is borrowed knowledge. So it was just a refreshing experience to have him also believe that, no, you're the perfect person for this job. So.
Yeah. This got I love this.
Yes.
Tell me, Coach Tim, tell me a little bit about the culture and the volleyball teams. We do have males and females, yes?
Well, yes.
We have two. Tell me a little bit about the culture and what it is like to be in those teams.
Most definitely. So being the head coach for the women's team, it's like culture is a big part of what we do. It's super important to establish a good culture and a strong culture. And the question always goes around, like, what does culture mean to you? And it's like, it's different for everyone.
Yes.
I think in past situations, I've seen like that the culture has been like, show up, get your work done and leave. And that can be fruitful in some instances, but in a way it kind of promotes them to be a little bit more robotic. And in our gym, we want them to be autonomous, like to have that autonomy and just that want to enjoy what you're doing, show up every day to get better. And 1% better is our mindset. So I think they're just that's what our culture is. We want them to enjoy what they're doing, understand that every day is an opportunity to get 1% better, become the best version of yourself. And that's on and off the court. And understanding like, if you have goals, which we have some pretty like lengthy goals, is everything that you're doing in complete alignment with the goal. And if not, then we've got to go back to the drawing board and reassess either our goals or our current situation. So our culture there just is pretty strong on just the values of just like hard work, and what you put in, you get out, and then giving yourself grace. I think that's just something it's missed a lot. We want to be perfect. And I always tell the girls, like, I mean, I've been trying for 30 years to be perfect and it still has not worked yet. So trust me. So yeah, I mean, that's our big thing. Like culture in the gym is a big thing for us. We want to make sure that we breathe it. So
it sounds like a safe space.
Yes, most definitely. We want it to be a safe space. This should be like a second home. A lot of these athletes don't have that. And just to rely on just their parents to say like, you and your parents like have a strong relationship where you tell your parents everything. That's not always ideal. A lot of times as coaches, we forget that we're mentors first. So it's just like, you never know, this experience could be saving someone's life. So we take it very seriously. Yes.
I love that.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the process of the women's volleyball team right now in season. How are we doing? Things of that nature.
Yes. So right now we're in a little bit of a growing pain season. Like we're rebuilding a bit. This year we brought in 12 newcomers to the team.
Wow.
Yes. So when bringing in a big number like that, whether it's freshmen, transfers, all new students, it is a little bit different. You know, my first year, that team, there's only 2 kids from that team that are still here, just because there were 9 seniors that graduated my first year. The next year there were 5. So just in making those switches, like little by little, we had to make some big like changes as far as bringing in a lot more talent. And I think this next year coming up, we'll see it kind of like level out a little bit because we're bringing in like a couple more pieces, but not as big of a class. But this team just super talented, so much potential, but now trying to train their mindset, adapting to new things, the culture, new ways of training, new ways of thinking, all have been like a challenge, and every day is different. So we accept the challenge, and ultimately we're looking at the bigger picture and longevity. And I think that ultimately that would help. And that helps me, our coaching staff, our players to think of things a little bit differently. Instant gratification is plaguing, this generation. So I think that the more they understand, like, good things come with time, the better. So we're establishing a really strong foundation amongst the team now. And I think it's just going to help us as we finish out this season and then on into the 2025 season as well.
I love that you called it growing pains, because when you are creating that togetherness of a team and coming in everybody with the beautiful perspective of whatever the background is. This is my talent, and how can I express it to my fullest potential? But in a sport like volleyball, is how can I help her also express to her fullest potential, right?
Most
and
definitely.
Coming together, and it's beautiful that they're getting the season to grow stronger and more together, and see and celebrate each other and the wins, and continue doing those spotlight moments.
Most definitely.
So that they can continue aiming towards that longevity goal.
I'm
so excited for the team.
Thank you.
Excited for the team.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about what should a person that's interested in becoming part of the team at Life University, what should they be doing if they're in high school and they're kind of choosing and seeing what their options are, and how can they reach?
I think, like, from a recruiting standpoint, I'm very picky, I will say, when it comes to recruiting. And I think that I'm looking at some things that I think a lot of coaches aren't. Like I said, culture is a big part of what we do here. Characters is huge. Their integrity. So, like, I'm looking a lot at the intangibles. So I spend a lot of time getting to know them a little bit more, and them just being open and just having open dialogue, just to get to know them as a person first. And I think that that's super important, because at the end of the day, I'll be honest, I'm very confident in, like, the training aspect and developmental piece. I can teach anyone how to play the game. It's more so just about being a good person, being the right fit, like, to fit into what we want for our program. And, like, as far as, again, from the recruiting standpoint, skill wise, like, we're looking at certain things like what you're able to handle, being able to handle adversity. When challenges come your way, what do you do? Is it fight or flight, or are we taking it head on? And then also too, like, as working alongside with other young women too, that have the same goals or aligned goals or like mind. I think that is also part of the challenge too, that they have to be willing to take on. And then also too, just, like, be willing to embrace the unknown. Like, I think sometimes we run from the unknown, and, like, you never know what you don't know, or what you don't pursue to know. So, like, I think just challenging yourself to achieve that knowledge. And I think those are things that are super important. As far as the physical aspect, like, obviously, we love, like, those highlight players that can come out and, like, show a lot of things and, give a lot on the court. However, that is not the end all to be all. Ultimately, there is a part of our jobs as coaches that we do have to develop this kid. We do have to help them bridge a gap, because regardless if it's from high school to college or from university to university, like, there's still a gap that you have to bridge going into a new environment, new expectations, new team, new coaching staff, all the things. So we look to just find some kind of, like, willingness to embrace, whether it's, like, coachability, just eagerness and hunger to get better. So those are things, like, more so on the intangible side, like things that we can't really measure. And then also, like, the athleticism and all the physical things are also just icing on top.
I love that. I love that, because at the end of the day, these are people that happen to be student, and then they happen to be athletes. They get to wear those roles as they continue to develop themselves.
Almost definitely.
I love that.
Yes. Thank you.
So excited. I'm so proud, and so just in absolute awe and love for athletics, because it's grown so much at Life University, and it's a piece, and you can see them. I'm like, I know you're a student athlete at Life University.
Yes.
There's a poise to it.
Most definitely.
There's a rhythm, and it comes from the coaches. So I thank you for your development and for your ease and for your dedication for these beautiful, strong female athletes.
Thank you.
And congratulations as you continue building this dream team.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, Tim. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Living Life I Love You. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the season. And good luck.
Thank you.
On everything.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.